Many automakers around the world have revealed that they don't make a profit from electric cars because it costs them too much to manufacture them right now. One Chinese automaker doesn't make a profit and has revealed how many cars it needs to sell. Now, this is very interesting information because most companies are keeping this close to their chest. They're trying to say, no, it's okay. Well, we'll make a profit from EVs one day, or they're ignoring the fact altogether. Now, in China, many car companies are selling at a loss to try to get market share. But that's only sustainable for so long. And the same thing applies to every big car company in the world. Now, this is how it actually works. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers, and welcome back everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sam Evans, and I'm coming to you from Melbourne in Australia. And Leapmotor, they're coming to you from China. In fact, they were one of the fastest growing electric vehicle companies in the world until they decided, nah, we can't do this anymore. Well, we're losing too much money on every single car we sell. In April of this year, Leapmotor delivered 9,000 EVs. The following month, it was 10,000. The month after that, it was 12,500. They were selling EVs at an incredibly low cost. And I talked about that on this channel. I said, hey, if you can get your hands on one of these, you should. They are insanely affordable. That said, then the numbers started to go down. They went down to 11,000 in September, down to 7,000 in October. Even less than their sales in March of this year. And shockingly, even less than in January, which is one of the worst months in China every single year. So what exactly happened? Well, they decided they needed to raise their prices so they weren't losing so much money on every car they sold. As a result, their sales nearly halved. As you can see, car markets that are mature, when there's a lot of EVs being sold, when they're in a mature market, sales are massively affected by price in the cheaper segments, that is. So when Leapmotor finally decided, well, we can't sustain this anymore, as pretty much every auto company in the world will eventually have to do at some point in time, well, yeah, as you can see, their sales took a massive hit. This will affect, like I said, Toyota, General Motors, Ford, Subaru, Mitsubishi, Mazda. Hang on a minute, most of those car companies aren't even making EVs, or at least not now. Yeah, you get my point anyway, right? It will affect all of them because there are no mainstream legacy automakers that currently make a profit on EVs. Volkswagen just significantly increased the prices of its cars. In fact, it increased them 3 times. Nobody noticed. Forbes didn't notice. Bloomberg didn't notice. CNBC didn't notice. These guys are all clueless. Nothing's happening in the world unless it's Tesla and it's something negative. They can construe as negative. But you see my point. These automakers don't make any profit from EVs and yet say they'll ramp up to millions per year within a few years and say that they'll sell their vehicles at an affordable price. Now, how do they do both of those things together? I don't know. I really don't know. Leapmotor has to sell 400 to 500,000 vehicles per year in order to break even at their increased prices. So they raised the prices and then basically said, we have to sell 500,000 vehicles per year to break even. But they're in China. So they're manufacturing their EVs at a significantly lower cost than every single major legacy automaker in the world. Why? Well, for one, they use cheaper battery packs. They use lithium iron phosphate batteries. They are way cheaper than the nickel-based chemistry batteries being used by General Motors, Ford, Lucid, Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Hyundai, Kia. You get the point. For the full year 2022, the company has 111,000 deliveries. And Zhu's words mean that Leapmotor will have to grow annual sales by at least 260% if it's to make nothing. In other words, to break even. Leapmotor was founded in 2015, says CNET Post, and is currently selling the Mini T03, the Coupe model S01, and the flagship SUV model C11. Plus there's the flagship sedan, the C01. The prices of Leapmotor's models are positioned to compete with internal combustion engine vehicles. In fact, they're pretty much on par with the cost to buy a gasoline-powered vehicle of the same size. How long can manufacturers sustain this? Well, you know what? this might actually change. Now that we're seeing sodium-ion batteries hit the market, well, at least BYD, CATL, and other battery manufacturers say they will hit the market this year, everything could be different. But here's the thing. Chinese automakers have been very quick to adopt lithium iron phosphate battery packs in order to reduce their prices and give consumers a better experience over the life of ownership. But Western automakers have not. In fact, the only Western automaker using lithium iron phosphate batteries right now is Tesla. It takes them, for some reason, years to catch up to China and Tesla. When I say them, I mean, all the car brands that you and I know. Why does it take them so long? Well, no one seems to know. Maybe it's like the Titanic trying to move away from the iceberg. It was just too big and too slow. So once these sodium batteries hit the market, how long will it take before Western automakers start using them? Well, nobody knows. But we do know that what they've done in the past has been big and it's been slow. And when it comes to actually deploying these sodium batteries, they probably will do it, but I think it'll take them years. So what this means is that many players will die. Many automakers will die, and many experts are saying, well, exactly what I just said. They're saying not only will new EV companies fail, but existing automotive companies, including companies like Mazda, for example, probably Subaru as well. Competition in the auto industry is a long run, with a product taking more than 30 months from planning to mass production, and car companies need to prepare and invest in advance. So if it takes 30 months to decide, well, we're currently making all these cars, but if we use sodium batteries, they'll be cheaper and we can actually make a profit, let's do it. Well, that's 2.5 years to go from one battery pack to another. Now, for some reason, Tesla did it much quicker than that, clearly, as you can see by the fact that more than 60% of their cars being sold right now use lithium iron phosphate batteries, and they have for quite some time now. The CEO of Leap Motor said, if you start planning a product now, it won't be ready for mass production until well after 2025, probably 2026. So you may not be able to catch up with that pace if you start late in the early stages. So that's the thing. Who exactly is starting late in the early stages? Well, pretty much everyone, to be honest, except for Tesla, BYD, and Chinese automakers. Everyone is behind. Now, yes, Volkswagen, you might be thinking the Volkswagen Group make a fair few EVs. In fact, they made 400,000 last year, although 20% of those were made by Chinese car companies. Volkswagen therefore made about 300,000 EVs in 2022, but that is less than 5% of their global vehicle sales. Less than 5%. Therefore, that means Volkswagen has a long way to go. And considering they've cancelled their Trinity EV project, which is meant to reduce the cost of their EVs, well, I'm not so sure that they're going to have a great time sailing as well, considering especially that they have $180 billion in debt. Now, when it comes to Toyota, well, they seem to move even more slowly than everyone else. And considering their CEO claims that EVs are only desired by the vocal minority and not the silent majority, which don't actually want them, and also claims that all the CEOs of other legacy auto companies agree with him. I'm going to guess it's Japanese automotive companies probably agreeing with him. I think that those companies are in for a hard time over the next few years. It's worth considering the facts. The facts are that no one's really making a profit from EVs right now, except for two companies, Tesla and BYD. They've got a pretty significant first mover advantage. Now, Mercedes said only a few weeks ago that the Tesla Semi defies the laws of physics. Why did they say that? They said it because they haven't figured out how to do it. And that goes for many other automakers. It's hard to figure out how to make a profit from EVs. And if you have to sell 500,000 at a minimum to make a profit, even when you make them in China, well, this business is going to leave a lot of collateral damage. And I'll be sticking around to tell you guys who I think that collateral damage will apply to the most. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.